Welcome to another episode of our English Learning Podcast. Today's episode is a special one. We're about to dive deep into the story of Nina, a kitchen helper who, despite her busy life, takes small steps every day toward a dream that seems so far away. Her journey isn't just about learning English, it's about persistence, overcoming challenges, and believing in small actions that, over time, lead to extraordinary transformations. We'll explore the impact of these little steps and how they can change your life. One word, one moment, one day at a time. Meet Nina, the kitchen helper with a dream. Imagine a small restaurant in a bustling city. The kitchen is always filled with the sounds of sizzling pans, clattering dishes, and busy voices. Here, we meet Nina. She's a kitchen helper, responsible for washing dishes, chopping vegetables, cleaning floors, and making sure everything in the kitchen runs smoothly. It's a tough, demanding job. The kitchen is always hot, the hours are long, and the work never stops. But Nina does it all with a smile. You might wonder, why does she smile? Despite the hard work, Nina has a dream. She dreams of opening her own cafe one day. Every day, she imagines a warm, cozy cafe on a corner street where customers can come in, relax, and enjoy good food and drinks. She dreams of greeting them in English and offering them a menu in English, welcoming tourists and locals alike. But Nina's reality is different. She's currently a kitchen helper, working for someone else, with limited money and no time to spare. Her English is basic. In her small village, she had few opportunities to practice. The English classes were simple, and most of the learning came from textbooks, not from real-life conversations. When Nina first arrived in the city, it was overwhelming. The fast pace of life, the noise, the crowded streets. It was exciting, but also intimidating. She didn't feel at home in the bustling city. At first, she often felt invisible and disconnected from everyone around her. Yet she reminded herself daily, this is why she came to the city, to earn money, to learn, and to chase that dream of hers. The importance of English in Nina's dream. As Nina worked at the restaurant, she started realizing how important English was to her dream. Sometimes tourists came into the restaurant, and the servers would take their orders in English. Although Nina stayed in the kitchen most of the time, she often overheard these conversations and wished she could understand them better. Even though she knew a little English, she couldn't communicate confidently. If she wanted to one day run her own cafe, especially in a touristy area, English was key. She had to learn to speak, understand, and use English with ease. However, finding time to improve her English was a huge challenge. Her days were filled with hard work. She left her apartment early in the morning and didn't return until late at night, exhausted from her long shifts. By the time she got home, she was too tired to study. But Nina didn't give up. She knew that even small steps were better than no steps. So, she made a plan to practice English bit by bit, whenever she could find the time. Nina's strategy. Small steps. Big change. Nina's method for learning English was simple but effective. She couldn't find hours each day to study, so she made use of the small moments she had throughout her day. Here's what Nina did. Watching short English videos. During her breaks, or even while eating, Nina would watch short English videos on her phone. These could be lessons, motivational speeches, or even English stories. Even if the video was just 5 minutes long, she was learning something new. Listening to English audio. During work, while washing dishes or cleaning floors, Nina listened to English podcasts or audio lessons. She wore one earbud so that she could still hear what was going on around her. The sounds of English filled the quiet kitchen, and it was an easy way to keep learning while working. Learning one word a day. Nina started carrying a small notebook with her. Every day, she wrote down one new word she learned. She wrote its meaning and a simple sentence. During the day, whenever she had a few moments, she would review her word. By the end of the year, she would have learned over 300 new words. Just one word a day. These might seem like small steps, but Nina believed that every tiny effort was a step toward her dream. She said to herself, "If I learn one word a day, that's 365 new words in a year." Key English phrases. Nina used bit by bit. This phrase means gradual progress or moving forward in small steps. For example, Nina is learning English bit by bit. It's like climbing a mountain, one step at a time, and you'll eventually reach the top. Step by step. Similar to bit by bit, it means taking things one step at a time. Learning a language is a step-by-step process. Every word, phrase, and practice session is a step toward fluency. Make time for yourself. Nina often reminded herself to make time for her personal growth. Even in a busy schedule, she made space for learning and self-care. For example, "I need to make time for myself to study English. Hang in there." This phrase is often used when things are tough, to encourage someone to keep going. It's like saying, "Don't give up." Nina's daily routine. Learning English. Every day, even on the busiest days, Nina found ways to practice English. Every morning, before heading to work, she would take 10 to 15 minutes to watch an English video or review her words from the previous day. This time wasn't much, but it helped her stay motivated and focused. It made her feel like she was investing in her future. One morning, while watching a short video about the power of consistency, Nina learned that success isn't about talent or intelligence. It's about doing something consistently, even in small doses. This lesson stuck with her, and she applied it to her own life. Consistency is the key to improvement, she reminded herself, and that helped her keep going, day after day. In the kitchen, a busy day with English practice. The kitchen at Sunny Side Restaurant was chaotic. There was no time to stop and think. But Nina knew that even in this hectic environment, she could practice her English. She would glance at the ingredients she was working with and mentally review their English. Names. Tomato, she'd think. Tomatoes, she'd repeat to herself. Sometimes while scrubbing dishes, Nina would think of English words related to her work. Soap. In English, it's soap, she'd say to herself. Punctual. Arriving on time. She often practiced these words quietly to herself, reinforcing what she had learned. And then, one day, Nina found herself helping a customer who had a peanut allergy. She spoke English to explain the ingredients in a dish. It was a simple interaction, but it filled her with pride. She had used the English she had been practicing in a real-life situation. A breakthrough. Using English with confidence, after the lunch rush, Nina had a small break. She was sitting in the kitchen, eating her meal, when she overheard a tourist asking the waiter about the ingredients in the soup. The waiter didn't speak English well, so Nina, feeling nervous but excited, volunteered to help. She walked up to the customer and explained in English that the soup didn't contain peanuts. The customer was relieved and thanked her. That was Nina's first real breakthrough. She realized that her hard work was paying off. She had used English in a real-world situation, and it had gone well. This gave her confidence and a sense of accomplishment. Key phrase. Practice. Hang in there. Nina used this phrase to encourage herself when things got tough. When you feel overwhelmed, hang in there is a reminder to keep going. Repeat after me. Hang in there. Step by step. Nina always reminds herself to take it one step at a time. Learning English or working toward a goal takes time, and you must take it step by step. Evening reflections, growth and persistence. After another busy day, Nina took a moment to reflect on her progress. She wasn't perfect, but she had made significant strides. Her English was improving, and she felt more confident in her abilities. More importantly, Nina hadn't given up on her dream. She understood that growth takes time, and even the smallest steps matter. Key phrase: practice. Make time for yourself. This phrase is about self-care and personal growth. Even on busy days, Nina reminded herself to make time for herself to study English, even if it was just a few minutes. Looking back and moving forward. 1 year later. A year later, Nina looked back on her journey. She had improved her English significantly. She could hold conversations with tourists, understand more English podcasts, and even help teach cooking classes in English at the restaurant. Although she still had a long way to go, Nina knew she was closer to her dream than ever before. Key phrase: practice. Bit by bit, step by step, Nina looked back and saw how much progress she had made. Every small effort had led her closer to her dream. Repeat after me. Bit by bit, step by step, a new opportunity. When small steps shine one day, the restaurant owner, Mr. Lai, called Nina into his office. He was impressed by her progress in English and her work ethic. He offered her the chance to help with a new project, translating the restaurant's menu into English and assisting with a weekend cooking class for tourists. This was a big opportunity, and Nina was thrilled. The chance to lead the cooking class was a direct result of her small, consistent efforts. She had worked hard to learn English bit by bit, and now she was using it to help others and move closer to her dream of owning a cafe. Small steps. Big transformation. Nina's story teaches us that small steps add up to big transformations. She didn't wait for the perfect moment. She made use of every small opportunity. Bit by bit, step by step, she's moving closer to her dream. Remember, progress takes time. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. So take those small steps every day, whether it's learning a new word in English, reading a sentence, or practicing speaking. Final thought: if you take small steps every day, you'll look back one day and be amazed at how far you've come. Like Nina, you can achieve your goals bit by bit. So, hang in there, make time for yourself, and keep moving forward. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time, keep taking those small steps, and remember, you've got this.